All right, let's talk about one of the most universally frustrating things for PC gamers. You finally sit down to play, you connect your controller, and your hardware just completely refuses to cooperate. It is the absolute worst. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really brilliant kind of hidden workaround for DS4Windows called stealth mapping. By the end of our time together, you're going to know exactly how to use a custom executable name to make your PlayStation controller finally play nice with your entire PC library. Let's get right into it. So picture this. Have you ever been in this exact scenario? You plug in your PlayStation controller, boot up Steam Big Picture mode, and suddenly it's like a ghost has just completely taken over your system. You're getting double inputs every single time you hit the D-pad, your menus are scrolling out of control, or maybe the buttons are just totally unresponsive. You're sitting there thinking, what did I do wrong? Well, you didn't do anything wrong. Your controller is fine. What's actually happening is a massive software tug-of-war going on right behind the scenes on your PC.
So who are the main culprits in this little tug-of-war? Well, it's usually programs that are trying to read your controller natively. We're talking about Steam Big Picture, emulators like Yuzu and Cemu, or even standalone games like Shovel Knight. See, when you use DS4Windows to map your controller, whether it's a DS3, DS4, or DS5, it creates this emulated controller for your system to read. But at the exact same time, programs like Steam or Yuzu are also trying to read your physical controller. When they detect that the DS4Windows program is running, they basically get confused. They try to grab the controller inputs directly, while DS4Windows is also pushing out those same inputs. And the result? Just a total compatibility clash. They literally cannot function properly when they know DS4Windows is active.
Okay, so what's the fix? The solution actually relies on some remarkably simple logic. If the whole problem is that these other programs are detecting DS4Windows, well, what if we just made it invisible to them? That's stealth mapping in a nutshell. Look at the default state. It's called DS4Windows.exe. When Steam or Cemu spots that highly specific name running in your computer's background processes, bam, the conflict triggers. But if we use a custom hidden name, something random like DS4W, we are essentially throwing a digital invisibility cloak right over the program. Those conflicting apps become totally blind to the fact that DS4Windows is even running. So it gets to do its remapping job quietly in the background, and you don't get any of those annoying double inputs.
So let's actually do this. Here's your step-by-step roadmap. First, open up your DS4Windows settings. Now, pay super close attention here because this next part is absolutely crucial. You have got to turn off the Run at Startup option first. If you skip this, you're going to get startup errors later, for sure. So, turn that off. Next, just type your new custom name into the Custom Exe Name box. You can really choose anything, but honestly, keeping it simple with something like DS4 works perfectly. Just remember, do not type the .exe extension, just the name itself. Once that's typed in, look at the bottom right corner, click Stop, and then click Start right after to apply it. Finally, fully close the app, make sure it's not secretly hiding down in your system tray, relaunch it, and now you can safely turn that Run at Startup option back on.
All right, you did the steps, but you want to know for sure that your stealth mapping actually worked, right? You definitely don't want to just guess, boot up a game, and get hit with the same glitches. So, let's check under the hood. On your keyboard, press Ctrl, Shift, and Escape all at the same time to pull up your Windows Task Manager. From there, you want to clip over to the Details tab. Make sure it's Details, not the Processes tab. Scroll down that list and look for the custom name you just typed in. If you went with DS4Wins, you should see that exact name running right there instead of the usual DS4Windows.exe. If you see it, awesome! You're officially in stealth mode, and you are totally good to launch Steam Big Picture or your emulators with flawless, conflict-free mapping.
Now, of course, every great workaround comes with a tiny catch, right? DS4Windows is actively updated software, which is great, but whenever you download and install a new update, the updater actually overwrites the executable file. So what does that mean for us? It means your carefully crafted stealth name is going to get wiped out, and the program will just revert right back to its highly detectable default DS4Windows.exe state. This is totally normal, nothing is broken, but just keep it in the back of your mind. You will just have to repeat that quick renaming process we just did every single time you update the app. A minor annoyance, maybe, but it keeps everything running seamlessly.
And hey, what if you ever want to undo the whole shebang? If you ever need to troubleshoot or just go back to the factory default, the reversal process is super easy. First, make sure the app is fully closed. Again, double-check that system tray so it's not lurking in the background. Then launch the program, and just like we did before, turn off that Run at Startup option. Next, head over to the Custom Exe Name box in your settings and just erase whatever you typed in there. Leave it completely blank. Click Stop, then click Start to apply the change. And finally, turn Run at Startup back on. Boom, you're right back to how things were when you first installed it.
So we've covered the why, the how, and the maintenance of stealth mapping. It really is an incredibly powerful little trick to have in your PC gaming toolkit, but it does leave us with one final pretty big question. Will stealth mapping solve all of your emulator input issues forever? Well, while throwing an invisibility cloak over DS4Windows is absolutely a silver bullet for those major Steam big picture and Yuzu conflicts we talked about, the world of PC emulation is pretty wild. It's complex, you've always got new variables, weird driver updates, and quirky game engines to deal with. But I highly encourage you to set up this stealth method right now, fire up your favorite emulator, and see the difference for yourself. True mastery of your PC setup is an ongoing experiment, after all. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep tweaking that setup.